Thank you. You are from those who are joining for this particular human resources management class today. This is the last but one session. The tomorrow's session we are going to complete this particular subject as per the current schedule of the Dr. Ambedkar University. And all the students I request to take benefit out of this and then utilize this opportunity to interact with the faculty at the same time take the benefit. Now, in the previous class also, we have discussed a lot about the various aspects relating to the performance, employee, how the recruitment is going on. This particular class we are going to discuss. So, due to the matter of the importance of the lectures and due to the number of sessions are only limited to 8, I have covered about the previous class, what is the grievances and what is the grievance procedure and so on and so on. Let me stop sharing the screen. So, So in this presentation, now we are going to talk about what recruitment. Actually, we all know the process of recruitment. In general, we feel that just recruitment means taking the employee into the organization. But it's not so easy. Before going for the recruitment process, every organization has to take a lot number of steps. And how better the recruitment process, the best will be the quality of employees what we are going to get from that entire pool of the resources, that is human resources. Yes, beyond organization, that is group of people working together for the benefit of the organization or for the purpose of achieving the organization. As we studied in the basic principles of the management, organization is a group of people working together for the common objective. This common objective is nothing but organization objective. Every individual has his own objectives, that is earning salaries, having a good well-being and security of employment, and so on and so forth. But along with that, organization also will have its own objectives, like profit maximization, wealth maximization, sales maximization, size maximization, and so on. These objectives can be achieved by the organization only with the help of the people, but not with any other. Every organization needs human resources. Every organization requires human being. Without a human being, as you know, there are a lot number of resources. There is land, labor, capital, organization in our basic economics we studied. But without an individual, the organization cannot work. So that is the reason why employment, people, recruitment, training, all these are very much related with the human being. So in this process, recruitment is the crucial process in the process of running the organization a better and successful way. How this recruitment, what is the recruitment means and how it will be. Process of searching for the prospective employees and stimulating them to apply for the jobs in the organization. That is said to be the recruitment process. When we are talking about the recruitment process, always we see for the purpose of searching the prospective employee. Who is an employee? Who is the prospective employee? Prospective employee is what? Prospective employee is one who is basically who wants to be the employee of the organization. That is the part. Who wants to join the organization and so on and so forth. So in this process, organization basically looks about the people who want to join this particular organization. Everybody wants to join a multinational company. Why they wants to? Because Multinational companies always take care of the individual requirements, individual needs, and so on and so forth. That is, they stimulate them to apply for the jobs in the organization. Here there is a question. When the jobs are ready, people always will apply. But it is sometimes it may not happen. Organization requires people and people require organization. When once a person joins in the organization, he will become an employee. So employee is a resource. When once an employee is trained with a specific job, definitely he will have his own potentialities to work for the benefit of that organization. So to conclude on this particular meeting, the process of searching for the prospective employees and this prospect of searching the prospective employees, who is the best for that? The main human resources management objective is also we studied, that is right man for the right job and stimulating them for the apply to the jobs in the organization. Or let them come to the organization with a vision to serve the organization. Then definitely they will have a high motivation. And then coming to the components of the organization, what are the goals, objectives of the organization, and all this. So what are the components of the recruitment process? If you give the page number 107 of your material, what are the goals? What are the objectives of the organization? Is it a service model? Or is it a profit model? Is it wealth maximization? Or is it size maximization? It's what goals the organization is working and what are the objectives of the organization and so on and so forth. Then what is the specific duties and the responsibilities of the job is also a process of recruitment. So whenever we talk about the components of the recruitment process, so recruitment process always depends on the job nature, character, job nature, and organizational nature also. A small size organization, which is having only a profit model, then earn profits, only earning profits, they will offer lesser amount of salaries and they demand for the more amount of, and they demand for highly skilled labor, but their payment capacities will be very less. And the work will not be totally subdivided into various subgroups and so on and so on. But in the case of the multinational organizations and the good organizations, always goals, objectives are clear and the duties and responsibilities of the job is clearly mentioned and approaches to measure the job performance. So how a person is measuring the performance of the employee. That is also another the process of very important component, which is going to give the meaning to the recruitment process. Okay, I employed a person, and whenever I am employing a person, how he will set for the goals of the organization. What is his duties? What is his responsibilities? What are the approaches to measure the performance of that particular job? And what are the job traits and job qualities for the success of the organization? What are the job traits? For example, a person who is getting employment in a defense organizations, so his confidential are maintaining the nature of confidential. In the same way, the banks also maintaining the confidential. In the case of legal self, they are also maintaining the confidentiality of information is very, very important. So in such a way, what is the traits of the job? Security aspect. And then otherwise, if a person is giving employment in the service sector organization, his motive must be to serve the organization better. First of all, he must be in the service motive. Then only he will do. If he is measuring 1 rupee every day, automatically he cannot provide a good services always. A person must be ready to serve the society. That type of traits always matter with the recruitment process. Then what is the qualities for the recruitment process? How much qualitative employees are needed and how better they can be given opportunity for the success of the organization. All the aspects must be taken into consideration while the recruitment process is going on. And what are the various sources of the recruitment? That is also important. About the sources of the recruitment, we will study in the next further slides. So, to conclude upon this particular slide, actually, the meaning of recruitment is motivating the people or searching the people towards the application, towards the job in a particular organization, or stimulating the people to apply for the positions in the organization. Say, for example, Agniveer is the very 2-3 years back. The Agniveer is the recruitment process which is initiated by the military and defense sources. They motivated more number of younger persons, younger generation to join in the military forces or defense for the army forces. In that, what is the job qualities required? What is the job profile? What is the responsibility? What is the duties and responsibilities given? All these aspects are given in that particular. What are the benefits that are also given? That also are provided in the information on that. So, in a particular recruitment process, always the recruitment process basically covers about what is the nature of the job, what are the duties they have to perform, how confidentially they have to maintain, what are the rights of the job, and so on and so forth. So, in this process, recruitment always gives a guidelines for the purpose of selecting a right man for the right job. These are the important elements. Then, normally, we often use both the words in a synonyms, that is recruitment versus selection. Whereas, when you are talking about the recruitment versus selection, what is the purpose? What is recruitment? What is selection? Well, the main purpose of recruitment, almost they are similar, even though they are similar with each other. Recruitment and selection will go through up to the last minute, they will go in one line only. Whereas they will differ slightly in a thin line, then they have a difference. Recruitment, as I told you, is attracting large number of applications for the job. The main important purpose of the recruitment is to make the people apply for the job. Number of people, number of applications. How many number of applications are coming to the particular job? Okay. Okay. We are a technical team. That even the mic is on, nobody is able to. So when we are talking about this one, supply and demand factor. And supply and demand factor is another important. Then employment rate is the another one, and political, legal, government and regulations. And these are the other important factors which are going to, external factors which are going to influence that. If a government gives a permission to the recruitment of the government positions, then only it can recruit. Say, for example, in the universities, how the people, how the employment goes on through the recruitment by the central government agencies only. So then, in the case of the legal appointments or political nature, or any appointment, if the government positions, first of all, the government permissions and regulation, permissions from the government sector is very much necessary. And then information on employment is also very, very necessary. How much information you pass on about the employment, like LinkedIn, etc., you are seeing nowadays. Most of the factors are associated with the external forces. So then exchange of recruiters, etc. Socio-economic factors and external factors that comes under the socio-economic factors. So in certain categories of the employee recruitment process, economic factors, social obligations, etc., they will have a lot of litigations. So these are the various important factors we have to understand. Then coming to the very important section of this particular lesson, that is sources of recruitment. This is given in page number 113. I request all the students to go through the page number 113. The sources of recruitment process. So, what are the various sources of recruitment? That is very essential. So, actually, organizations will have different types of sources. That is, just 1 minute. Various sources of recruitment are very much essential in the internal sources as well as external sources. So, what is internal source? Internal source is within the organization itself is the possible to select an employee. That is an important factor. So how it is possible to select an employee within the organization? That means present and permanent employees of the organization to the higher level. This is given in paragraph number 7.6. Internal sources include present or permanent employees of the organization. So they can promote it to the higher levels of the jobs in the organization. Definitely it is a good source for that. And promoting them to the higher level, available to the most suitable candidates for the jobs relatively are equal to the external sources. The trade union demands, that is to the policy of that. Sometimes trade unions demand for the enhancement of the positions. Then always to maintain good relation with the trade union, sometimes their demands also must be accepted. To the policy of the organization to motivate the present employee. If an employee is getting promotions in the organization to the higher and higher level, automatically other employees will be motivated to work better, and finally they will be ready for the taking opportunity in that particular organization. If no promotions are there or no regularizations are there, automatically employees will be dissatisfied and they will be looking about this side and that side. How better? What will be better? Is there any better opportunity? And so on and so on. So present employees and permanent employees, if they are given higher levels of jobs and higher levels of promotions, then automatically they will stick to the organization in a better way. That is one. And temporary as well as casual employees for motivating them to the present job. When when employees are provided with the when employees are provided with the when employees are provided with the from temporary employees and casual employees with the permanent regularization, like the government is doing now the process of regularization of the services of the private contract employees. Then in such a case, employees will feel happy and they will be loyal to the organization. When they will be loyal to the organization, and at the same time, they will they will do good amount of services to the organization. These are the important things. That is another source. Regularization of present employee towards the better jobs. Then depends on the dependence of the retired employees or retrenched employees. Retired employees or retrenched employees, sometimes if they are fitted for the job or otherwise they can better perform the job still further, then definitely it is possible to give them employment again, retaking them into the taking them into the organization again, that is also is possible. So if a retired employee is having ability to perform the job still better, then his services may be continued on the ad hoc basis or any other basis, depending on the organizational needs. Then, that is a retrenched employee or retired employee also may be used for the purpose of giving again another jobs. So then lastly, dependents and deceased employees are retired employees. Dependents of the deceased employee are retired employees. So if a person is deceased because deceased in the during the his employment nature, then in such a case, during his employment, definitely he may be given another opportunity to give this. So if a person is deceased, automatically his relatives may be given opportunity to work with the organization. Then if a person is retired from the employee, then if any of his relative or dependent person, if he is able to perform the job, then he may also be considered for the purpose of employment. So why organizations prefer for the internal sources? This is the major important question also. Why organizations prefer for the internal sources? Internal recruitment is basically, this is given in page number 113 and a last paragraph. Internal recruitment can be used as a technique for the motivation. If you are recruiting the people within this organization structure, then employees will be having the what to say confidence about the organization. If a person is going to retire in the next month, then that the professor or any other employee in the organization, if there is scope of the organization, with the scope of re-employment, then definitely he will serve the better. That is one. Internal recruitment can be used as a technique of motivation, motivating the people to that. And the morale of the employees always have to motivate improve, and the suitability of internal candidate can be judged better than the external candidate. So if a person is within the organization, he is known to the organization in the previous past. So he can be given opportunity again and again. That is, then loyalty, commitment, and a sense of belongingness and security of the present employment can be enhanced. This is also another important. So loyalty, commitment, and a sense of belongingness of the employee always will be better in case of the present people. Then finally, is a problem. So like this internal recruitment process is sometimes good. Psychological needs also will be satisfied. Meeting them, providing them the opportunity to work better and better. Like that, there are so many factors which supports for the internal recruitment process of the employee. Then other side is the sources of recruitment, it is continued, and sources of recruitment. External sources also will be there. This is given page number 1 month. So various other factors which supports the external employment also. So that is first one said to be external sources are campus recruitments, already it is known to you, almost all. Various software companies, etc. They will go to the well-reputed educational institutions and they will select directly the employees, select the students from their campus, and then they will be given training and they will be provided with the opportunity to serve. So that is called as campus recruitment process. Immediately after the completion of their education, they will be converted as the employees of organization. This is one. Then second one is employment agencies. So earlier days it is employment exchanges also there. Now it is employment agencies and consultancy. So for the purpose of class for employees in various shopping malls, hospitals, etc., etc., consulting agencies are very higher in number in nowadays. If a person is willing to work as a employee in a shopping mall, or he can register himself in the employment agent register himself with the consultancy, and the consultancy person will send him to any of the required position. And then employment exchanges, it is not there now. Actually, almost employment exchanges are almost closed. And public sector, it is public sector. In our days, we used to register immediately after the degree. We used to register our name and certificate, etc. in the employment exchange. Government used to fill up the positions through the employment exchange in the public sector services, like water works, etc., etc. And then professional organizations. So various professional organizations also will come forward for the purpose of providing the people towards the organization. And then data banks. Data banks is nowadays it is emerging trend. The management can collect the biodata of the candidates from the different sources like employment exchanges, education training institutions, from the candidates itself and feed them into the computer. It will become another source of the company and can get that information as and when needed. If the outgoing students of a particular college, entire list of them is made in a database, and that students list who are better for which type of skills they are having. If you collect that information and if you keep in database, as and when any requirement that comes out, then they can be used. In case of companies also, the same thing can be done with them. So if a company is having a large number of employees, their database can be updated in a system. So if they want to, company wants to give a promotion, or if the company wants a new employee for a better job or anything else, then they can go for that particular data banks and search for the information. And the casual applications also is possible. So depending upon the image of the organization, it responses, participants of the organization, the local activities, level of unemployment, candidates apply casually for the jobs also. So if a good organization is there, people they themselves come forward to apply for that. Sir, if any job is there, please provide it. They will drop the resume and they will go. That applications also can be considered depending on the need of the organization. And similar organizations provide the information on that, or sometimes similar organizations share their human resources to the organizations which are producing same or similar type of the products. And lastly, trade unions will give a lot of support in that. If you give generally unemployed and underemployed persons or employees seeking the change in the unemployment, put a word to the trade union leaders. So trade unions always maintain a data about the prospective employees who wants to work with that. So if you trade unions, they provide a large data on the people who wants particular jobs. And lastly, public sources are also there. Governmental agencies are government and agencies. They will provide the information on the people. So that is almost all. And earlier days it is the employment exchanges, not nowadays. And then coming to the advertisement, that is known to you. If a single advertisement is there, the people are able to come. But how many of them are able to perform the job better? That will be the process of selection, as I told you in the previous. And advertisement is the most a very general source of recruitment process nowadays. Either it may be an education institution, or it may be a company, or it may be any sort of organization that is giving an advertisement, call for applications. Out of the total number of applications, they will scrutinize and screen them, and from that they will minimize the number of applications, and then they will go for the recruitment. And a notice board as well as vacancy circulars in that. That is another important factor. Notice board. In the company itself, they can put a notice board. So normally in the well-established companies, this process is there. Our circular can be issued to the employees of the company itself. So these positions are vacant. If anybody is interested to apply, your relatives or dependents or any other person, they may apply. This type of circulars also can be given. And newspaper, print media, this is normally advertisements will follow this one. And job portals also is another important aspect. That is job portal like Naukri.com, LinkedIn, etc. They will collect the resumes from the employees and then they will give that particular information to the employers for the purpose of getting the right man for the right job. And job fairs. Nowadays, you know, job fairs are very popular, getting popularized. So that is called a tool drive in the general language, you can say. So in the case of the job fair, so when the job fair is conducted by, say for example, a civil engineering company, if the job fair, if a civil engineering job fair is going to be organized, then a group of companies will come forward and they will install their stalls and they will publicize about their company and they will attract the more qualified and highly skilled employees to work with their organization. Then lastly, employee referrals. Employee referrals, this is very casual in case of the software employments. If a person is working as a software engineer, then if he is able to refer a good candidate who works better, who provides the services to the larger extent to the organization, he also will be benefited. The person who is getting the new person who is getting the job is also will be benefited. Like that, new referrals also, employees referrals always will be a source of the recruitment process. So this is a large volume of subject is there. So to conclude upon, sources of recruitment basically tells us about how you can find out employees or how you can trace out the employees, good amount of qualified people. So present internal sources, present employees, permanent employees, they will be offered with higher employment position. Temporary casual employees can be motivated to be permanent and they can be motivated to do the present job better. And giving opportunity to the deceased employees, relatives, or retired employees, relatives, and so on, or their dependents. Internal organization, internal sources is always better because it is known devil than unknown angel. This is another important aspect. So when you are talking about the external sources, campus recruitment, employment agencies, employment exchanges, professional organizations, databases, casual applications, all the sources. I request students to understand this one from the material book and out of all this, if they are able to remember if at least some of the internal sources, some of the external sources, and they can structureize the answer to the better way. All these side headings, all these paragraphs, no student is expected to write in the examination paper. If they write all the entire 3 hours duration will be completed only for the sources of recruitment itself. So I strongly suggest that a student must be able to precise the answer to the required number of lines as well as depending on the number of marks allotted for the question, how much they must be go on and go on. So external sources, some of the external sources like employment organization, campus recruitment, data banks, casual applications, like that they can select, and public sources, that is also they can go ahead. Next. Next, coming to the recruitment techniques. That is, recruitment techniques comes under this process of how you can recruit the recruitment technique. This is paragraph number 7.7. Para number 7.7. Point 7. Para number 7.7. That is, you can look to the this one. So in that, first one is the promotions aspect. Already we know whenever an employee is given a promotion in the internal candidate, then he will feel much happy from the junior level to the senior level to the higher level. If you are going on promotions, then it is an important technique of filling up the higher level vacancies, not the lower level vacancies. If a head or if a person working as a working as accounts officer, if he is promoted to the post of the manager of finance, he will work with loyalty and he will be able to perform his task better in the organizational context. So in this process, promotions always helps as a good recruitment technique for the higher levels of employment in the organization. So then second one is said to be transfers. Already this is known from a particular division. If an employee is transferred to another division, he also will feel happy. The reason is that he will learn some new techniques of doing the job, or otherwise his skills and efficiencies are better utilized in another division. So sometimes this transfers is a very, very important technique where if the particular department is overstaffed, then to reduce the size of the overstaffing, then some of the employees can be transferred to the other departments where there is a lack of employees. That is called as transfer. Transferring from one department to another, depending on the number of employees requirement in that particular department. Then third one is scouting. What is scouting? Sending the representations to various sources of recruitments to stimulate the candidates to apply for the job. For example, our company requires a medical officer. Then send an application to the medical agencies or medical organizations. So to send the people to send the good qualified doctors for taking the opportunity in that particular company. So that is one. So in the same way, we want a good auditor in our company. Then send a representation to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India to select an employee, to select a good chartered accountant to cater to the needs of the organization. Like that, we can send the information to the recruitment to the various sources, and then definitely. Even for the class 4 employees also, when sometimes what happens, more number of class 4 employees may be required. Hundreds of people like cleaning, maintenance, and so on and so forth, like hospitals, etc. Then how to go with that? Then send a letter to the consulting agency that we want 100 persons to work for this particular type of job. Then definitely, then this type of process is called as scouting. Then advertising. Advertising already we know that depending on the nature of the job or depending on the characteristic aspect of the job, we will give advertisement, and definitely definitely we go by the advertising. In the advertisement, the job requirement, job discipline, what are the duties, responsibilities, everything are mentioned in that. So on the basis of that, recruitment techniques will go on. These are normal techniques which are used from the very long back. So promotions is improving the position of the person, transferring from one department to the another, sending the presentation to the source, various other sources of recruitment, or sometimes for other organizations also, if the other organization is overstaffed, then giving directly advertisement in the print media and so on and so on. Then lastly, another aspect is also there, that is coming to the modern techniques of the employment is also. We will go with the modern techniques and recruitment process, then we will continue on this particular topic right now. Modern techniques of employment is recruitment is there. This is in the paragraph number. Modern techniques of recruitment is in the page number 120. That is walk-in. So this is known to us walk-in interviews. Instead of calling for applications, instead of asking them to apply for the position and so on, and giving them time to apply and so on and so forth. Suppose if an advertisement is given, definitely 1 week or 10 days time must be given to the so that application time need not be there in case of walk-in interview. If you give advertisement for the walk-in, then applicants will come directly with their resumes or other relevant documents, and the screening committee will directly assess the person on this part, and they can be given 1 or 2 days time. Then finally, the recruitment process ends with giving an offer letter to them. Once the offer letter is accepted by the uh, this is the filling up the vacancies. But normally, walk-in interviews are conducted in many major organizations for the purpose of lower level or medium level jobs process. But when when an organization wants to fill up the higher level activity, then this walk-in interviews sometimes organizations may not feel comfortable. Then higher level positions, normally the people also will not come for walk-in. First, they will send the resume. If the resume and other data is acceptable for the employer, then they will directly on phone contact, and after that only they will directly come to the organization because they don't want their presence to be identified in the general issues. Then that is walk-in is having its own advantages and disadvantages also. This another thing is that consult in. That is another consult in. That is what I told you right now. The business dynamics companies encourage the busy and dynamic companies encourage the potential job seekers to approach them personally and consult them regularly on the jobs. So then consult them jobs. The companies select suitable candidates from among such candidates through the selection process. So directly the people are asked to consult them. That is another one. Headhunting, especially at senior level positions. Companies will search for the people who are caliber of performing a specific task. And higher level positions like general managers, vice president of a company. And the companies will filter large number of employees, and out of that 1 or 2 will be selected. That is headhunting. And body shopping, this is the new technique actually. And the prospective employees contact the pool of HR, human resources. So one or the other organizations that is called as the human resource management team, they will have a pool of resources, and this person who wants to employ an employee, they will consult with that particular consultancy agency. That means a consultancy maintain the list of all the employees, and another organization which wants an employee consult this pool of human resources management team, and then that is called as body shopping. And business alliances is another important area where the modern technique. So business to business, the business alliance like acquisitions, mergers, takeovers, etc., help in getting the good manpower resources. If you club with the two companies, then definitely. And tele-recruitment is nowadays it is going on. In case of foreign recruitments, etc., the process of conducting the recruitment on the tele basis. These are the modern techniques. So recruitment techniques are also another important question. Then recruitment process is this one that is also we cover. So lastly, to complete this particular topic, recruitment process is the very, very important area that is called as page number 123. So where then the excellent chart is given in this book, page number 123. Excellent chart is given in this particular book. So this chart, which elaborates clearly about how the recruitment process goes on and so on and so forth. So if a student go through this particular chart, he can directly understand about what is the total process of this. So first of all, in the recruitment process, understand about the HR planning aspect. Already I told you about what is HR planning. So what is the requirement of the employees, how many processes are required, what are at present they are there, how many new employees are required and so on. And prepare a specifications of the job, that is what type of jobs, what is the type of the job, what type of skills are required and so on. Develop the employee profile. Each employee is to be designated and then select the recruitment method. That is, which type of recruitment method is to be elected, whether internal or external recruitment sources, and then screen the applications of the employees. So then, as I told you, out of the larger the number of applications, select the screen, and then number of employees are to number of prospective employees are must be made to minimum, and screen the applications, and out of that, call them, conduct an interview, test them to the required quality and skills. All this process comes under screening of applications, and then finally make an offer for them to accept the employment. So depending on the terms and conditions of the offer, the prospective employee may accept the employment. So finally giving an appointment. That is the closure of this one. In this chart also it is clearly mentioned. Okay. This is about the recruitment process and so on. In the tomorrow's class, we will go for the block 3. That is another important point in the performance. With this particular job, we started with the recruitment process. So what is recruitment and what is the organization? What is the organization group of people? And what is the meaning of recruitment? That is process of searching the prospective employees. And what are the components of the recruitment process? That is objectives, specific duties, responsibilities, and so on. Then recruitment versus selection. What is the difference between these two? Objectives of the recruitment. What are the various objectives of the recruitment process? Then we have covered about factors affecting the recruitment process. So what is internal factors, what is external factors? Then what are the factors that is affecting the organization, recruitment process? And then finally, we can identify what are the various sources of the recruitment process. That is internal sources, external sources, and so on. Then we have covered about the external sources of recruitment also. And what are the various techniques of recruitment, like old traditional techniques and modern techniques, traditional and modern techniques in that. So these are the various aspects in that. Then lastly, we understood about the what are the various stages in the recruitment process. Okay, these are the various important aspects that every student is expected to learn in the process of recruitment. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.